Hey guys, this is CSDX, but you can call me Sean, and welcome to that time of the year again where I talk about the top 5 games I played in the year prior. Don't worry about the Batman Arkham Retrospective Part 1 video thing, it is coming soon. The only rules that I have for this are it has to be a game I played for the first time in said year, but there is another rule that I'm adding now. Basically, if it's a game that I did start a while back but never made enough progress to the point that it might as well be considered new for me again because I barely remember what happened, then it'll be eligible for the list. Anyway, let's get started. Can you believe that one of the best games of 2024 didn't even make it into the Game Awards? I don't think it even made it as the player's voice first round. Can you believe it's a successor to the Zelda CDI games? Arzette the Jewel of Faramore was a surprise announcement to some people, because why would anyone want to make this? Well, enter Seth Dopley Fulkerson, who actually made remasters of said Zelda CDI games. Except for Zelda's Adventure, cause that game didn't even have funny cutscenes to make it redeemable. And despite the fact that Nintendo likely does not care about the CDI games, and I'm pretty sure Seth wasn't making money off it during development or at release, he sadly took them down 2 days after release. He was also quoted as saying he only remastered the games and improved them just to see if he could. What a badass. He then took what he knew and made Arzette, which is similar in gameplay to the CDI games, but are arguably better in every way. I feel like I don't need to explain the gameplay all that much, but to summarize, it's a level-based 2D action-adventure platformer where you help people in various areas to unlock new paths, weapons, etc., all while having to stop the Demon King Dimer and his minions, including a cat girl that I surprisingly didn't see much fan art of outside of the YouTube poop mod clip where Arzette keeps calling her mommy. I am never going to understand why people call their partners daddy or mommy, and I don't think the fact that I'm 35 years old is why. Also, Arzette is so freaking cute, oh my god. They even managed to replicate the art style of the CDI games to a T, save for some cutscenes that, for some reason, look a bit more three-dimensional and stiff. The best part about it though? They got the original voice actors for Link and Zelda in Jeffrey Rath and Bonnie Jean Wilbur to voice for the game, namely as a tutorial voice and the narrator. That is fucking awesome. Okay, so while writing this script, I realized that there's a chance that he actually did get the original artists to work on the cutscenes for this game. So I looked it up, and he did. Most of the original artists of the Zelda CDI games came back to work on this game. Seth Fulkerson is a goddamn hero. Dude, wouldn't it be cool if Zelda was a girl? And also the playable character? But this time on official Nintendo hardware? The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom got a lot of people excited for this game, as you actually play as Zelda instead of Link. On top of that, from what I would consider it, it's basically Tears of the Kingdom, but top down. Well, for the most part anyway. It feels a bit open at times for where you can go to resolve issues and save whatever race of people you live in said areas you help, and you got special attire you can wear after a certain point in the game, dimensional rifts to explore. And the big selling point is reminiscent of how Ultra Hand and Fusing worked, in that I would not be surprised if they took an extra year of development to test the Echoes out. Yeah, the Echoes are the main selling point about the game, and is a means to allow for Zelda to not have the same gameplay as Link 100% of the time. You can make a lot of echoes out of enemies, tables, food, and even the much-loved beds. The beds don't hold a candle to the almighty water block though. Man, now I want to know what other YouTubers think about this, especially since you get to play as a woman this time instead of Link. Let me just go ahead and look it up on YouTube, and a decision had to be made for which Mario RPG had to take the spot here, and which one gets an honorable mention. Yeah, it's the Thousand Year Door remake. I'll explain why Brothership is only an honorable mention in the honorable mention section of the video though. Look, I don't think Origami King is a bad game. I feel it has great writing even, and the ring battle system only felt like it sucked with the boss battles. But people still wanted a return to form with the OG Paper Mario formula. Lo and behold, Nintendo actually listened and remade Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I've never properly played the original, but with a number of quality of life improvements they made, I doubt I'd be able to go to the original all that much. They kept the gameplay roughly the same with some updated visuals that look fucking gorgeous, especially on the OLED screen. Just the forest, the Black Forest area, I forget what it's called, looks especially pretty. Hell, I even tried for 100%, and while I was glad to find out that I could just lose the fight against Prince Mush after scanning him for his bio because of the fact that, like, Jesus Christ, is he hard? I hate that I had to slowly but surely kill a Waka via brain damage. That last encounter with it especially hurt me, and the boss battle against another one was not as bad as dealing with Bonetail, quite frankly. That's only because I screwed myself over with a badge setup that was not going to work, and I wasn't able to change it because every time I retried, I would automatically start on the 100th floor in a cutscene. However, through sheer perseverance, determination, and unfortunately the old family stubbornness that runs in my blood, I did it. It took multiple days, not days straight mind you, but I did it. And I got the useless gold attire to show for it. Merry Christmas, me. Oh right, I should not forget this. They outright confirmed, once again, that Vivian is trans, as they were largely using the script from the original Japanese release. So guess what kind of people twisted themselves into knots trying to claim it wasn't in the original Japanese script, and also that it is actually in fact because of woke, even though it isn't? Go on, guess. Man, that is 2 jabs at Culture War Chuds. I am on a roll. There's gonna be 2 more of these, aren't there?
Yep, this is a cock.
Sonic Generations was my all-time favorite Sonic game and favorite 3D Sonic game, which was usurped in 2022 by my 2022 Game of the Year, Sonic Frontiers. Then they remastered Generations and included a bonus side campaign in Shadow Generations. Sonic X Shadow Generations, yes that's the name, look it up, takes notes from Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, where it remasters the main game with a few adjustments and adds in a damn good side story that serves as a possible stepping stone for future entries. So let's get this out of the way. The writing for Sonic Generations was adjusted, and it's really not a big deal. Though they definitely could have updated some animations, because now to a lot of Sonic fans, it sounds like classic Sonic ate the floating island. Then there's the slight edit to Rouge, where her chest is more covered up, and that sent Chuds into an absolute frenzy! Here's the thing about that though. Not only does it fit more in line with her model in Sonic Adventure 2, but it argued that the heart plate over her chest makes her boobs look even bigger because it's covering even more skin. Am I really so lonely and desperate for a partner that I'm talking nonchalantly about whether or not cleavage for bat tits matters in a game about running fast? Then there's Shadow Generations that actually results in Shadow reuniting with Maria and Gerald Robotnik. Ah! I'll admit the game didn't fully wow me, even though the game was still a ton of fun no matter how you look at it. And Doomwing is, not exactly the best transformation, but that's just my take. But you know what won me over? The final boss battle, namely Phase 2 and the music that accompanied it. Just watch. This boss battle? This fucking rules! They even ended up having an orchestral cover of All Hell Shadow. Never mind, it's called a symphonic version actually. Okay, sure, whatever, still sounds amazing. I'd also like to note that the ending is just such a bittersweet one that I think works perfectly for Shadow as a character. Plus, he actually sheds a tear. I need more characters like Sonic and Shadow showing more emotion outside of constantly upbeat and constantly brooding. Also, I just want to mention that Sonic still can't escape the occasional "it's Sonic, so it sucks" bullshit, as Eurogamer clearly forced themselves into doing it by giving Sonic X Shadow Generations a 6 out of 10 because the game came with Sonic Generations. How do you even go about life like that? Aw, man. I got a game with my game. Now, if not this, or Thousand Year Door, which I don't have a physical copy of because I kind of had to sell it, you know, financial woes and such. And if not Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which I was just too lazy to get that because I had to readjust the damn mic because like a mic stand, the mic arm fell off and from the table, and I need a better place to put that mic wrap clamp thing, whatever. Basically, if not all those, then what is my #1 game of the year? First things first, honorable mentions. Mario & Luigi Brothership, a new entry to the series by the guys that made frickin' Octopath Traveler. Compared to earlier entries in the series, this is the slowest game in said series. It took me 5 hours to get my first bros move, and I think about 6 or 7, can't remember which, to get my first set of bros attacks. People call it the definition of a slow burn, and I agree as the game is great, but I don't know how guys like Antude beat it in 45 hours when I'm on hour 55 of my playthrough, and I'm still not done! Tell me your secrets, Antonio Dudemeister. I'm starting to get burnt out. Okay, so I wrote all of this days prior to the recording, and I actually did beat the game just last night at the time of this recording, being January 2nd, 2025, not to date the video, mind you. And despite it taking me almost 60 hours, which, I'll be fair, that is normal for an RPG, I just am not used to it for a Mario & Luigi RPG. Seeing the stuff that happened after I beat the final boss, though, it made it all 100% worth it. If you haven't checked out this game yet, you really should. Ratchet Clank Rift Apart. Same gameplay you know and love with added interdimensional travel. It's only really an honorable mention because I honestly couldn't figure out how to write it, as if we don't count the times I attempted the PSP entries, I only beat the PS4 remake of the first game, and I've yet to beat the PS3 remaster that I put on hold for at least 3 years to focus on other games. But if the original PS2 version comes to PS Plus, I might just switch to that, or maybe I'll play for both versions, I don't know. Either way, I've not played enough of the series to really feel like I can describe the gameplay well enough. Astro's Playroom, a tech demo that came pre-installed with every PS5 that's an absolute love letter to the history of PlayStation. I feel like I didn't play enough of it to warrant a spot on the list. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, a stealth-platformer that's actually way more fun than I thought it'd be, except for the Murray sections, fuck the Murray sections. Originally planned for a video that got cancelled because it took so long to work on, due to fears of the weather causing a power outage, as I do live in Florida, and hurricane season here tends to last longer than an actual season. But regardless, I couldn't find a good place for it on the list. Mega Man 11, a return to classic Mega Man that uses a unique gear system to try and adapt the classic hard as steel difficulty for a modern audience, and having difficulty options also helps a ton. Again, just couldn't find a place for it on the list. Flintlock The Siege of Dawn, a Souls-like game with a very neat, interesting, and unique premise that also sent idiots into heated rage. Look at the footage, take a guess, win a prize. Only 2 reasons it's not on the list. 1, I didn't play enough of it, and 2, I lost roughly 2400 reputation, aka the currency of the game, when I tried to get it back, and it just let me realize that Soulsborne/Souls-like games are not for me. Seriously, I got pretty miffed losing that money. Lastly, a special honorable mention that I somehow forgot to include in the top 5 games I played in 2023 video, despite having a very nice time with it. Tome. It's a fun little casual adventure where you take pictures and help people either with said pictures, or actions you can do while in the position of taking said pictures, among other things. If you missed out on it being a PlayStation Plus Essential game or even on Game Pass, I think you'd be better off paying money for it. It's that sweet and enjoyable. If that was too many honorable mentions for a top 5 video, and if this is too many times you get to see my wonderful face, well, tough shit, it's my video, and I can do what I want as long as it's within the realm of my editing capabilities and as long as I'm not hurting anyone. So, for those that don't know and haven't seen my video game commercials video in late 2022, something that still hurts me to this day is the loss of my parents. More recently, my dad, who died in 2018. Late 2018, but still. 6 years ago, really. So when I found out that Tales of Kenzera Zao was a game about coping, I had to try it out. And it was free on PS Plus Extra, too. You can tell by all the 1-star ratings it got. The rating system for this sort of thing is heavily abused, and this, in all honesty, is why I refuse to believe that anyone that gave 1-star rating to AEW Fight Forever right here actually played the game, let alone won a match. It was free for a month on PlayStation Plus. 1 month and all those 1-star ratings. I refuse to believe that, 90% of them are authentic. Who am I kidding? I refuse to believe 100% of the 1-star ratings are authentic. Tales of Kenzera Zao is a Metroidvania. You know, I still dislike using that term since the genre existed before Symphony of the Night. Just call them action-adventure exploration games. Although I guess that doesn't roll off the tongue very well, does it? That tells the tale of a shaman named Zao, who is trying to come to terms with the loss of his father, whom he affectionately refers to as his Baba. Zao's story was written by, go figure, the dead father of Zuberi, who is reading the tale in hopes of finding peace with the loss of his aforementioned Baba. It's honestly a fun game with neat mechanics that actually got heavily improved by an update. It also got a bit hard, so when the update launched, I switched to lower difficulty. Yes, it took me way too long to finish the game, but on the plus side, I platinumed it. Accessibility options matter. One important thing to note is that the game was directed by, and I am so sorry if I butcher the name pronunciation, Abubakar Salim, who is best known for voicing the character Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins, aka the game that's getting review bombed because it's currently unplayable on Windows 11 24H2, and Ubisoft ain't fixing that. Salim ended up making the game because he was grieving over his own dad's death and used that grief as inspiration to make the game. And he did a fantastic job with it. Tales of Kenzero Zhao feels like a game I needed back when my dad died. Even if these days I have yet to be able to fully stop crying over him and my mom, and with how beautiful the visuals are, how fun the gameplay is, and how moving the story is, as Zhao working with the god of death Kalunga to help others is an absolute masterclass in how to cope with loss and how others do so in their own way. This game is my 2024 Game of the Year. Okay, so normally I would have a funny outro or whatever for this, but given what I talked about just now, it doesn't feel right. So I just wanted to spread some positivity at the very least. I hope you guys had a great holiday, whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else. I hope you guys had a great New Year. I hope you were able to have a fun time with all your loved ones. I hope your loved ones were good to you. If your parents were good to you for your life, definitely give them a call sometime. Treat them to lunch if you're able to. And, make sure to cherish every single moment you have with them. Because one day they're going to be gone and you're going to regret not giving that phone call or apologizing for whatever fight you guys had that was not needed. And just for the sake of engagement and also, you know, like, so I can see how many great positive things there can be in the comments, let me know how your holidays were, and on top of that, please let me know what your New Year's resolutions are, if any. I'm not going to be mad, obviously, if you don't follow through with them. A lot of people don't. So, just talk about them, and just let me know how it'll go for you, or something. I can't word right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it funny for that. Regardless, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. I love each and every single one of you. See you guys next time. The mouse is all the way over there. Aw, man. I have to keep that in as a blooper. Oh my god. Okay, hard reset. This is gonna take a while to move past, I guess. Mm-hmm.